The federal government of Nigeria is to ban flights from the United Kingdom, Canada, Argentina, and Saudi Arabia in retaliation against their decisions to have included Nigeria in red list countries. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika disclosed this in a leaked audio where he revealed that the ban on 3 nations will be announced on Monday or Tuesday by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19. The federal government had repeatedly kicked against the ban on Nigeria by the UK, Canada, and Saudi Arabia after the outbreak of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. In the leaked audio, Sirika was providing explanations on why the federal government reduced Emirates Airline daily flights into Nigeria to only 1 weekly flight, and went ahead to stress that countries that placed Nigeria on red list would receive similar fate from Nigeria. The Economic Fighters League, EFL, is no longer part of the Fix the Country movement. Explaining the split in a statement, the EFL cited concerns with transparency and a lack of ambition. Quote, "Sadly, the Fix the Country conveners platform no longer offers a conducive environment for honest and credible mobilization," the statement said. The selfish interest of some appears to be driving the movement to what we fear the most, namely that the hard work of the numerous activists will be cultivated to the benefit of certain partisan political forces or interests. EFL also said the movement's, quote, "independent thought is gradually being replaced with remotely controlled thinking, and accountability levels are falling worryingly." Giving further clarity on the split, the national spokesperson of the EFL, Niaye Operi, stressed that the EFL wished to become a viable political alternative for Ghanaians. The Ghana Education Service has so far distributed over 80% of 62,000 laptops to senior high school teachers under the One Teacher, One Laptop program. This forms the first phase of the distribution exercise, which is expected to end on December 17, 2021. Phase 2, which will cover all teachers in public junior high schools, will commence when school reopens in January 2022, while all public basic school teachers will benefit from the program under the third phase. Handing over the laptops to the headmistress of the O'Reilly SHS, the Director General of the GES, Professor Kwesi Opoku Amankwa, said some SHS teachers may not benefit from the program under the first phase because their schools run the single-track system, for which reason those schools are on vacation. Elsie Adu Awaje, second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, says her outfit expects banks and SDIs to continue to support the Ghanaian economy through reasonably priced credit delivered in a prudent manner. According to her, banks must also promote gender equity in their lending and other operations and help support the transition to a greener economy guided by the Sustainable Banking Principles launched in November 2019 by the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana Association of Bankers, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Second Deputy Governor stated that, quote, "We expect banks to deploy technology and strategic partnerships to promote access to finance for all segments of our economy, including women-owned businesses, through innovative products, services, and delivery channels." The Ministry of Finance has refuted allegations that a private company has been awarded a contract to collect the proposed electronic levy on mobile money transactions, inward remittances, and ATM withdrawals. Instead, the Finance Ministry, in a statement issued yesterday, said the Ghana Revenue Authority is the state agency mandated to collect the levy at a cost that shall not exceed the standard cost of revenue mobilization. The ministry's statement was in reaction to publications that suggested that a private company has been awarded a contract to collect the e-levy. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture is urging tomato traders in the country to desist from traveling to Burkina Faso to buy tomatoes this festive season, as local producers will be able to supply enough to meet their demand. The Tomato Traders and Transporters Association embarked on a strike in February this year due to what the association said was the silence of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and other authorities on robbery attacks on their members on various routes when going in for their produce from Burkina Faso, as well as when returning to their various depots. Head of Public Relations at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Bagbara Tango, noted that enough steps have been taken to ensure traders get access to quality tomatoes in the right quantities in Ghana this festive season. Canada has pledged up to 40 billion Canadian dollars, 31 billion US dollars, 23.6 billion pounds in compensation for Indigenous children and families who suffered discrimination while in foster care. In September, a top court upheld a 2016 ruling that the government underfunded First Nations services compared with those for non-Indigenous children. It ordered 40,000 Canadian dollars, 31,350 US dollars, 23,340 pounds payouts to each child who was in the unreserved welfare system after 2006. The government initially said it would appeal the verdict, but it has come under intense public scrutiny after the discovery of 1,100 unmarked graves at the sites of former residential schools. Until as recently as 1996, Canada's residential school system separated Indigenous children from their families and sent them to boarding schools where many were malnourished, beaten, and sexually abused. The school system was part of attempts to assimilate Indigenous children, forcing them to abandon their native languages and convert to Christianity. The U.S. has said no American troops or officials will be held accountable for a drone strike that killed 10 people in Afghanistan in August. The attack took place during the final days of the U.S.-led evacuation of Kabul after the Taliban seized control. An aid worker and 9 members of his family, including 7 children, died in the strike. American intelligence had believed the aid worker's car was linked to ISK, a local branch of Islamic State. But in the aftermath, U.S. Central Command's General Kenneth McKenzie described the strike on 29 August as a, quote, tragic mistake. A high-level internal review published last month concluded that there was no need for disciplinary action since no law had been broken and there was no evidence of misconduct or negligence. Uganda's opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, has tweeted photos of police and military outside his home ahead of planned campaigns for a by-election in Kayunga district, 55 kilometers northeast of the capital, Kampala. President Yoweri Museveni is also expected to visit Kayunga to campaign for the ruling party's candidate for the district chairperson position. The by-election is scheduled for Thursday, and both ruling and opposition parties want to show their might. Bobi Wine has accused the police and military of attempting to block him from leaving his home. Local media report that police and military have also been deployed to Kayunga ahead of Tuesday's campaigns. Kayunga was previously a ruling party stronghold until the former chairperson who died in office was elected from the opposition. Paris Saint-Germain will play Real Madrid, while Liverpool take on Inter Milan in 2 of the standout ties at the last 16 of the Champions League after an embarrassed UEFA was forced to redo Monday's draw following a technical problem. PSG had initially been paired together with Manchester United, but the reworked draw sees them play Real Madrid, while Manchester United's side will face Spanish champion Atletico Madrid. UEFA had earlier blamed a material error due to a technical problem with the software of an external service provider as it announced the draw for its first knockout round of its flagship competition would have to be redone. Black Stars coach Milivoje Rojevic is expected to pick his provisional squad for next year's Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon tomorrow. The coach is set to name more than 23 players who will begin training on December 22nd in Doha, Qatar. Last Friday, the country's football governing body, GFA, announced the itinerary of the team, which includes spending 15 days in the Gulf country to prepare for the biennial soccer festival. Later, the Serbian will trim the squad size to 23 on December 30th for championship. The coach has been tasked to win the competition slated for Cameroon next January. So far, he has played 3 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, and South Africa and managed to qualify the team to the playoff stages. Indications are that he's likely to infuse some local components into his squad. A delegation of film practitioners on Monday, 14th December 2021, presented a petition on behalf of 500 others who signed it to the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture to register their collective rejection of the attempt to change the name of the Ghana film industry. The petition presented by George Bosompim, Ken Fiati, Cosby Bikpe, and George Quay was received by the Deputy Minister, Honorable Mark Okrakumante, who promised to engage various stakeholders in the coming days in a bid to arrive at a solution that sits well with all parties. The national film industry on Wednesday, December 8th, created some controversy when they held an event to unveil the new name for the Ghana film industry. The name Black Star Films was not widely accepted as the authority may have hoped, with many people calling for a review. Nigeria's National Film, Video and Censors Board has announced new plans to pass a non-smoking law in Nollywood movies. NFVCB Executive Director Adedayo Thomas revealed that the board's latest move follows increasing concerns about growing evidence linking the entertainment industry with the increasing use of tobacco and its impact on public health, a concern mutually shared by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Quote, entertainment stakeholders are deliberately targeted by the tobacco industry, either through financial inducement, misinformation, and other subtle approaches to further glamorize smoking in the entertainment sector. Adedayo further revealed that the board will toughen awareness among film stakeholders as it moves to enforce the non-classification of Nollywood movies depicting the use of tobacco.